But let's also shift our focus to the United States angle over here, because the committed to deliver big things together. The U.S.
Kabir,
National Security
just
Advisor.
before you go into it, I have a feeling that when it comes, I think the US-India bilateral meet is going to be historic, and it is going to become much more dominating in our news headlines than the G20. I have a feeling for it, but yes, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right on that. I don't understand, I mean, why you're having a doubt about that. That is going to happen. Biden and Modi meet. G20 is what? It is G2. Zero ka koi value nahi hai. It's G2. India and United States. That's what we're talking and looking at. No, but you know, away from that lighter note, we do have a reaction of Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, because the White House says if China wants to play spoiler, that option is available to it. Well, don't know, don't care. Listen in to what Jake Sullivan had to say.
He leaves tomorrow, and he's very excited about the important initiatives that he will be championing at the G20. His focus is going to be on delivering economic opportunity for developing countries, making progress on key priorities for the American people, from climate to technology, and showing our commitment to the G20 itself as a viable, if not vital, forum to tackle these sorts of issues. Of course, now we're grateful for Prime Minister Modi's leadership during India's presidency of the G20, and the President is certainly looking forward to his bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister shortly after his arrival in New Delhi. He's also looking forward to warmly welcoming the African Union as a permanent member of the G20, the newest permanent member. And we believe that the African Union's voice will make the G20 even stronger than it already is.
Well, I certainly apologize. That was John Kirby, the National Security Council head, not the National Security Advisor. But what do you make of John Kirby's statement over there?
See, John Kirby's statement, two things are there. One is the admitting African Union as the newest permanent member.
Which is what Prime Minister has also said.
Yes. Yeah. So that is going to be historic. So this G20 has a lot of historic moments to it. One is Africa's entry into the G20, because it is one continent that with so many countries which are so resource rich, and of course China has already been far ahead of us and many other countries when it comes to engaging with African countries, especially on their economic front, and also to exploit the natural resources of that continent. They are quite far ahead. But anyway, better late than never. But still, African Union now getting a huge part of global South is going to be represented in one of the biggest international blocs in the world. And you know, it's good that they're being represented. It is great that they're being represented because the voice in Africa is something that tends to have died down every time, you know, we talk about big international summits. But Africa too has a lot to say, and Africa is also changing, Kabir. Africa is looking at economic growth in many places. It's no longer a continent, you know, that has a lot of these civil strifes and you have dictators. It has become past. Africans are also speaking about GDP. Africans are also speaking about services. Africans are also speaking about mining, industries, and development. So everybody is focusing upon how their country and their people can get the best out of the global economy, and African Union's presence is going to be an important milestone in it. And we've always supported African nations, whether it was in NAM, the non-alignment movement, which was the last time we went ahead and invested a lot when it comes to an international organization, but this time promoting Africa as well when it comes to the G20 speaks about the fact that Africa has also arrived when it comes to industrialized nations.
Absolutely. I'm just going to quickly take a look at how the Times of India is placing it. Well, it does talk about the Sanatan Dharm remark of Udayanidhi's talent, which is something that we will touch upon in just a short while. But they do cover G20 specifically very nicely. All right, the traffic advisory has been given on a full-blown page over here. Do check out the Times of India and, of course, the Delhi Police's website as well, if you want to understand what really is happening on the traffic curbs' end. Red carpet. Delhi goes into override to make stay of foreign dignitaries comfortable and memorable. Star-studded lineup. Who stays where? You were right actually there, Nancy. I'm just going to quickly read it out. ITC Maurya is going to welcome Joe Biden. Taj Palace is going to, host China and Brazil. Claridge's will host France. Imperial Hotel is going to host Australia and Indonesia. Taj Mansingh is going to host the UAE. Lee Meridian is going to host Nigeria, Netherlands, Spain, Mauritius, the World Bank, the IATF. Saudi Arabia is going to lodge at the Leela. Japan and Canada are going to lodge at the Lalit. Turkey and Russia at Oberoi. UK, Germany at Shangri-La. Oman is going to stay at the Lodi. Some rooms for China at the Ashoka. The Grand is going to host Bangladesh. Singapore and Italy go to Hyatt. Sheraton is going to host Comoros, Egypt, Mexico, OECD. Pullman's is going to host Argentina, and Marriott is going to host South Africa. I really like it that rest all are countries, but Joe Biden is going to be welcomed by ITC Maurya, not the United States. It's going to be Joe Biden. And there are several pictures, how the JW Marriott, the Claridge's, special platters with the theme of G20 focus, they've been put out. Guns and Roses, armory at hotels if things turn bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're Guns and Roses, like straight out of a Hollywood movie
Guns
again.
and Roses.
You press a button, windows just suddenly open up. You can pull out that gun, start shooting, something like that. We already have those snipers in various.
You remember those movies like Olympus Has Fallen and
right? Yeah.
it gives you that vibe of those movies.
God forbid something like that actually happens. There's a G20 forecast as well, ladies and gentlemen. Very light rain possible on the 3 days. The Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Citizens' first mobile police station for G20 and beyond. There is going to be a minibus designed as a mobile police station in central Delhi, which is going to keep doing the rounds. So you have got a mobile police station that is almost doing the rounds. But at the same time, even as I'm bringing you the G20 preparations,